Click those tongs.
Man, what an intro. That's a song.
Now that's a song. Well, you know, well, you wrote the music, and I kind of put the lyrics to it, or vice versa. I wrote the lyrics, and then you put music to it.
I put the music. That's right, man. That's a collaboration. That's a songwriting team right there.
I'll tell you what.
Welcome.
Yeah,
number 3.
Number 3, as we say in French, le trois.
That's right. That's right. I know another reference with that in there, but anyway, number 3, and we got the cool official intro now. That was very exciting. I love that. That was awesome.
That was exciting. You got your guitar in your hand. You ready to go, baby?
I was playing along.
I love it. So Jimbo, that's Jimbo, and I'm T-Guid, and this is Rockin' the Grill podcast. And Jim, this is number 3, like you said, and I let him pick. We're rotating, picking the rock and roll group of featured rock and roll group and the recipe or the menu item that we're talking about. So Jim, tell us what's on for this week.
Okay, well, you know, we had a couple of test runs before we launched this whole thing officially, and in the first couple of test runs, we talked about where we both came from and our upbringing and everything else. And I'm from Los Angeles, grew up in the 80s, Sunset Strip scene, music my whole life, very big deal for me. So my band of choice this week is Poison.
All right.
You know, they were an LA band, not originally from LA. They were from Pennsylvania, but they moved to LA to make it. They were one of the bands that made it. I would say they were arguably one of the glammiest of glam rock bands in the 80s.
All pretty boys.
There were 2 camps of 80s LA rockers. There was the glam guys, and then there were like the hardcore thrash guys.
Yeah.
Hey, unapologetic, I was a glam guy. I was there with spandex, the eyeliner, the whole deal.
Big hair.
You know, Poison broke mid 80s. So that, you know, I was still a little bit young. This before I was hanging out on the Strip, but you talk about the age of MTV, big influences musically. And it's like, you know, everyone knows they're not the great, we talked about Rush last week. They're not at that level. They're a different kind of band. I still dig it. It's fun, and they're still around doing it, and let's party.
Yeah. So, hey, let's give you a little taste of what it was like back in 1983, 84, 85. Here we go.
But now I can't make it speak. I'm always working, sailing every day. Same old, same old. I need a chance just to get away. This is what I say. Don't need nothing.
You gotta love that, man.
You know, it's 3 chords and a lot of hair and a big party. You know?
Man, I mean, what a party. Have you ever seen them live?
Yeah, a couple of times. And in fact, Ricky Rocket, the drummer, lives in my hometown, Santa Clarita, California. And he's popped into the bars now and then when I've been playing. He sat in with us once or twice. And I actually have there's a picture of us from one of the club gigs back in the day.
That's freaking awesome, man.
And currently, you know, I'm in a cover band right now, and we do a lot of 70s and 80s. And my favorite song to play and sing is "Talk Dirty to Me."
Oh yeah.
You know, say what you will. It's not poetry. Well, maybe it is poetry. There are a lot of deep lyrics that Bret Michaels did, but their first kind of breakout hit, "Talk Dirty to Me," it was just everything that embodied the sleazy 80s.
Yeah, wasn't that a song whenever the original lead guitarist left the band and they picked up was it CC DeVille.
CC DeVille.
Yeah, when they picked him up, that was one of his songs that he brought from his other group, Talk Dirty to Me.
That is right. That is correct. And now there's been a whole lot of rumors about who's auditioned, who's been in and out of the band. Yeah. I heard that Slash from Guns N' Roses auditioned.
Dude, that was on Wikipedia.
Oh, there you go.
When they were auditioning lead guitars, it was between Slash and CC DeVille, and they went with CC DeVille, although they didn't get along too good, that he was a consummate perfectionist and that he was a East Coast. He was from New York.
Oh, yeah.
And they were in Pennsylvania, so they wanted that East Coast consistency.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Wikipedia says. I don't know if it's true. Google that.
Well, they can't print it if it's not true, right?
That's right. Don't make me shoot water through my nose right on camera. It ain't gonna be pretty. So like Poison, Bret Michael, Ricky Rocket, the drummer, like you were talking about, you met him, Bobby Dahl, the bassist, CC DeVille. I mean, what is that was nothing but a good time. But what's your favorite Poison song?
My favorite one to play, like I said, is Talk Dirty to Me. My favorite Poison song, man, maybe Ride the Wind.
Ride the Wind,
or even Cry Tough. And both of those were kind of minor hits.
Right.
But those, you talk about lyrically, there was some substance there, and kind of a feel good song.
Right. Yeah.
But it's all good. We also do Every Rose Has Its Thorn. We get a lot of requests for that, which is always funny to me. Like, people in bars still want to hear a slow song once in a while.
Well, I mean, they were known. That's what's great about Poison is that they brought the rock and roll when they, the energy and the guitar licks, the drum solos, all that stuff. But they were just killers at power ballads. I mean, Something to Believe In, I Won't Forget You.
Yeah.
I mean, Every Rose Has Its Thorn. I mean, those are three iconic ballads, that rock and roll ballads at that,
Oh, yeah. They were kind of on the forefront of that whole movement with the power ballads.
Yeah.
Which was, a phase that it kind of ruined a lot of bands, because a lot of bands, they had their only hits were the ballads. And then, the old blue hairs would go to see them to be like, wow, I don't understand.
Well, I mean, Motley Crue had Home Sweet Home, and hell, even Kiss had Beth. I mean,
oh yeah, well,
they all had them. The girls loved them. Hell, the feminine side of me liked them too, bro. But I like to bang my head, yeah. So I probably seen them live, is what I'm told from what I can remember back in those days. Because they were not a headline band, they were always a backup band, and I think they backed up Cinderella, and I think that's one of the times I saw them. Rat, they backed up Rat, and I know that's one of the times I probably saw them, and probably one other time, but I can't remember. But I think it was about 3 times. But they were always fun to watch. I mean, colorful, energetic, jumping around the stage, having a blast.
That's the thing. That's the school I come from. Entertain first, and then maybe learn some songs and notes. I don't know. All the major
minor things like musical linguists and all that stuff.
As long as you know a G, a C, and a D, you can play any rock song.
What? Yeah, the music's off. That was my daughter and my granddaughter staying with me, so the baby's in bed, so we got to kind of keep it. I can't keep it down, man. We're talking about the stuff,
We're talking about rock and roll, man.
The music was a little loud. The music's over, so we're good. Let's go. Let's rock on, brother.
Don't you have a big sign outside your door that says "On Air"?
I know.
Do not.
No, I don't have that, but it's the baby schedule, and
we just live in it.
I live in her world, and I love it. I love every minute of it, bro. Little Annie Pie. Hopefully, I'll get to meet her during one of the broadcasts. I'll put her on my lap. I mean, she is so freaking cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talk a little bit about Poison. You got any other stories about being in LA?
Man, I got endless stories, but I will say I'll give a plug to a movie that's out there. When people ask about the LA scene and what was it like, there was never a time that was more fun. I'll just say that, but it was so decadent that it couldn't have lasted. It imploded on itself. but I had a lot of fun.
We'd all end up in a 12-step program.
Oh, God, yeah, I mean, walking around Sunset with my spandex and my eyeliner and my big hair at the time, I was part of that. You know, that was the uniform. But there's a movie out there. It's a documentary called The Decline of Western Civilization, Part 2, The Metal Years. And I think just about every streaming service has that movie now. It came out in 1988. And it's all about the Sunset scene, and it is a perfect depiction of what everything was. It gives you the highs, the lows, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Wow, we're gonna have to maybe put that on as a footnote when we launch our Facebook page, because I need to write that down, because that's something I definitely would want to watch.
Yeah.
I love a rainy Sunday, and I just go into Netflix and look at all the rockumentaries.
Yeah,
I'm freaky like that, you know.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my that is my glam band of choice, and we should get to talking about food, because so we don't run long like we've been doing, and you know, we're trying to keep these episodes somewhat.
Yeah. So right now the counter is we got about 9 minutes to talk about the perfect steak.
I see.
So you gotta get food, bro.
The avenue I went down this episode was grilling the perfect steak. The reason I did it is we kind of touched on it before. I'm hyper focused on binders right now, and you know, people using olive oil, vegetable oil, no oil at all. What do you use on beef? And I go back and forth, and it's just making me crazy. And you have an interesting technique you kind of touched on before about when you order a steak, you just order the steak. You don't want anything on it.
Yeah, but I'm a Fred Flintstone kind of guy, bro. You know, salt and black pepper. That's all I want.
Yeah, and I've always used a binder. I've always used olive oil, and then I've been real basic: salt, pepper, maybe like a Kinder's blend, salt, pepper, garlic. And then more and more, I'm seeing, you know, these professionals out there and grill masters, especially on beef, no binder. They put the seasoning right on there, and they grill it that way. And I've been doing that for a couple of weeks now. I don't know if it's in my mind, but it does taste better.
Well, you know, I mean, they got two, you know, dude, again, I didn't come up with this on my own. I've asked professionals that I admire in the industry, in the competition world, you know, do you season a steak before? Do you season it after it's grilled? And, you know, there's two rules of thought here. One is you don't want to put anything on it because, you know, before you put it on the grill, because whatever you put, especially the pepper, if you put in just fresh cracked black pepper, it could actually burn and distort the flavor. So if you really want to taste that natural, fresh, cracked black pepper, put it in. And so that makes sense. And the salting it before, some people say it pulls the water to the surface, and you don't want to do that because you want that steak to be juicy and succulent. So look, I don't know. Everybody's different. Let your taste buds do it both ways. Do it pre-season, do it after. I mean, see which one you like better. I can tell you, when I do demos and I come off the grill and I let it relax and I hit it with that salt and black pepper, and you cook it to that perfect doneness, and you serve it to a person and they put it in the mouth, they're like, "Pooh, that's the best steak I've ever had." Yeah. How'd you marinate that? How'd you season that? Did you season it? I mean, and they are blown away that there's no marinade, there's no pre-seasoning. It's strictly steak on the grill.
All right, I'm trying that next time then.
Yeah, you need to.
I definitely need to.
Yeah,
I see future episodes with how to make the perfect chicken, and you know, different proteins, but yeah, steak has, you know, been an obsession. I mean, I know you and me both have been grilling our whole lives, and steak is one of those things. I've done really good steaks and I've done fantastic steaks, but I have not done the perfect steak.
Yeah,
I'm getting there, and it's making me cry. I'm in this phase now. I don't know what it is. I've been doing this my whole life, but now it's making me crazy. Like, what do I do?
To me, the perfect steak is cooking it indirect. You know, the reverse sear technique. Putting it off the coals, bringing up the temperature real slow, and then getting it to about 115, which I like mine finished at about 125, 130. So bring it up to about 110, 115 internal temperature. And then I throw a cast iron skillet or a griddle plate. I know you like the Kamado, that grill you got. I know you got a griddle plate. Yep. Throw that on the grill, get it blazing hot. Open that thing up, open your air, your chimney, get it so freaking hot that it'll snap on top of that plate. And then I take it and I throw it on that plate, and it's something about that complete Maillard effect, the browning effect on that whole steak.
Yeah.
And you do that for a minute or two on one side, you flip it over, minute or two on that other side. By that time, you're probably up to about that 125, 120, and pull it off, because it's going to keep elevating about 5 to 10 degrees after you pull it off the grill. So you want to pull it off 10 degrees shy of your done temperature or target temperature, and let it relax, and then come back and hit it with that. To me, that is not, you can kind of enhance it by putting a little butter on it. I've seen people they'll put it in a skillet, and then they'll put some fresh rosemary with some butter, and they'll spoon it over it and kind of glaze it with that. I'm not a rosemary kind of guy. I mean,
yeah.
It's real sappy, has a very strong taste to it. Again, I want to taste the steak. I want to taste that natural buttery flavor of the steak. And to me, the only way you can do that is just straight up black pepper and salt.
Yeah, and the best piece of advice, I mean, hands down, is don't go cheap on the steak when you're out there. Don't go looking for your bargain steak. If you're paying $6 for a ribeye, there's a reason it's $6.
Yeah,
spend a little money and get the steak.
And my other thing is, the thicker the better. I mean, if you go to a butcher, or you go to your favorite grocery store, and they don't have a butcher that can custom cut, and all they have in the meat counter is like a 1/2 to 3/4 inch cut, man, I wouldn't buy it. I mean, I when I go in there, I have my personal butcher. I like to go in there, and if it ain't at least 3/4 to 7/8 to an inch thick, I tell it, can you cut me some fresh ones?
Yeah.
Because to me, that when you cooking it directly, you're gonna cook a 1/4 of an inch done, like well done, and the bottom, when you flip it, 1/4 of an inch well done. It's gonna take a while, so that's when you get that bullseye effect. You got well done, medium well, medium rare. It's that staggered effect. Whereas when you cook it reverse sear, that bullseye effect ain't there. I mean, it's just when you cut into it, you got the Maillard, the well done, but then on the inside, it's just perfectly medium rare.
That's what I got to try then, because I'm trying to think if I've ever done a reverse sear, and I don't know that I have.
Once you go reverse sear, you can't go back.
No, I'm usually, the last couple of weeks anyway, season it and then rock it hot as can be, and then throw it on there for, depending on thickness, about 3 minutes aside. And that's been working out pretty well, but I got to do that reverse sear.
I don't know. There's something about, to me, it's almost even more tender when you do the reverse sear, besides the look of it. When you cut it right down the middle, it's just beautiful through and through. So talking about the cut of steak, we're talking steak. I mean, but you got New York strip, you got ribeye, you got filet mignon, you got T-bone. What's your favorite cut of steak?
My go-to is ribeye.
You like the ribeye?
I like the ribeye. I like the marbling. I know there's people out there, they don't like the fat. Well, if you do it right, you're not going to be chewing on that fat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you remember that scene in it was the John Candy movie, and when he had to eat the 64 ouncer for the free shirt or something, he said, "Done." And the guy, the chef looks over his shoulder, he said, "You're not done." And it's got like all the grizzle and all the fat. He made him eat. Dude, when I cook a steak, I eat the whole steak. I mean, if it's a ribeye, to me, that's part of the flavor. My heart doctor probably doesn't like it, but when I'm out with you guys and we're at a nice restaurant, I'll do the petite filet, or I'll do the regular filet. Can't beat a filet, but New York strip, if you're on a budget, it's still a great cut of meat if it's cooked well, to the right doneness.
Yeah. What is your go-to if you top choice?
Well, if money was no object, which in today's economy, money is the object. There's no money. There's not enough money. But if money was not the object, I would say a filet. I love a filet because it's just a nice, especially when the marbling's not. And I'm not talking Wagyu. I'm talking just a good prime cut of filet where the marbling's through and through the meat. And if I'm on a little bit lower budget, probably the ribeye. The T-bone, basically the T-bone is the ribeye and the filet all in one, or the New York strip and the filet all in one. but you got that bone. You're paying for the bone. You know, and then some people like that Yabba Dabba Doo Fred Flintstone, the
porterhouse
with the bone-in ribeye. I mean, that's massive. You better have 2 people chomping on that thing.
Yeah, I remember we went out for date night a few years back, and I forget what I ordered, probably the ribeye, and they brought me a porterhouse. It was huge, and it cost more, but it was so good. I wasn't going to complain, and I ate the whole damn thing.
Okay, Jim, we're at 21. I'm just mentioning that.
Well, this is good.
Yeah. So, okay.
This rather than an actual recipe for something, we needed to talk about how to grill a steak. This needed to be talked about. So this was a good thing.
And I know you've mentioned in past shows your weapon of choice is charcoal. So is mine. But this is where a menu item, you can use it. You can use a gas grill. You can use a griddle plate. Blackstone. Whatever you have in your patio. Hell, if all you got is a Weber or an old Smoky, I mean, you can cook a great steak. The technique, the flavor, the preparation, it's all about experimenting and doing what makes you happy. But just get out there and swing for the fences, guys. Get out there and go buy you some steaks this weekend. Football season has started. The Saints' first home game is coming up, so this won't air till probably after. So we'll probably be in the second week of they'll have a victory because they're playing Carolina. We'll win that game, and we're gonna be on to the next one. That's right.
I don't make predictions anymore.
Come on, man. All right, bro. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll sign off, and we'll see y'all next time. Where we don't know what we're gonna be picking. It'll be my choice, but I'm sure you're gonna like it. I have an idea what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna let it in on y'all, and and we'll see you. We thank y'all for watching. Hey, spread the news about this podcast. Share it on our social media. Share it with all your friends. If you got any suggestions, hey, we're open. Give us a shout. We love you guys, and until next week, we'll see you. Y'all.
Punched out and I'm headed home. The grill is calling and it's time to roam. Classic rock on the menu tonight. Ribeye and shrimp, the perfect bite. Rockin' the grill, been waiting all day. Smoking fire, they say I'm on It's time to rock my mysterious pill. Come and join us, rockin' the grill. Click those tongs.